So, Bring Her Back is the Philippou brothers' RackaRacka's follow-up film to their debut film Talk to Me. In Bring Her Back, we follow a brother and sister who discover something terrifying at the secluded home of their new foster mother. Before I continue on with today's video, I just wanted to say, welcome to my channel, everybody. For those of you who are coming by my channel for the very first time, be sure to hit the subscribe button to do not miss a feature video, whether it's a feature review, a reaction, a top 5, a top 10, or whatever I've coming your way, and join me on my journey to 10K subscribers and beyond, because believe me when I say this, guys, you are not going to want to miss the cool stuff I have coming your way. And for those of you who are coming back to my channel, by the way, welcome back, everybody. You have no idea how happy I am to see your faces once again. And let's also start our conversation below as well. Are you guys looking forward to Bring Her Back? What are your hopes for this movie? What are your fears about this movie? Have you guys seen Bring Her Back? Do you prefer this movie or Talk to Me? Let me know below. Alrighty, guys, so let's get into Bring Her Back.
Excellent!
Until I want to say either February or even maybe March, I had no idea this movie was coming out this year. Now, I had known for a while that the Philippou brothers were making this movie called Bring Her Back, but I had no idea it was coming out this year, and if I had known it was coming out this year, this movie would have easily been in my top 5 most anticipated horror films of this year. Especially knowing how much I loved the Philippou brothers' debut film, Talk to Me. Y'all want to hear a fun fact about where I saw this movie? Because this still blows my mind. The theater that I screened Bring Her Back at used to be a Methodist church. Talk about the most perfect way for a horror fanatic like myself and for a big fan of RackaRacka to see their latest movie than none other than a fucking church. I had screened Bring Her Back about 2 weeks ago, and while I could have easily have gotten my review up the day after I saw the movie, but this is a movie that I wanted to let gestate. I wanted to digest everything that I saw this movie, because this is one of those movies where I could have easily have said that I absolutely loved the film, and 2 weeks later I could have been like, you know, maybe I didn't love this movie as much as I thought I did. Maybe it was just the hype from seeing the movie, knowing how much I love Talk to Me. I wanted to think about this movie for quite some time before getting my review out in the week of release, which is this week. 2 weeks later after seeing this movie has images. It has these things that happen within this movie that have not left my mind for quite some time. Yeah, I loved this movie. Talk to Me, Bring Her Back, I want more from the Philippou brothers. I thought that the performances of Bring Her Back were fantastic. Sora Wong as Piper, Billy Barrett as Andy, and not to mention as well, Sally freaking Hawkins. Sally Hawkins. The emotional core of this movie is the relationship between Sora Wong's Piper and not to mention as well Billy Barrett's Andy. If you do not care about these two characters with their new foster mom played by Sally Hawkins and what they are going through, this movie does not work. Not only did I care about these two characters, but the things that these two go through in this movie, especially Sora Wong's character Piper in this movie. Holy crap. The synopsis I read for Bring Her Back doesn't even scratch the surface of what this movie is bringing you on for, to say the least, the bleak ride this movie brings you on a mental and emotionally taxing level. There are things that happened to these two that made me terrified for these two. Billy Barrett as Andy definitely has to do a lot of the carrying. Quite a bit of this movie goes on his shoulders, and he is able to not only carry this movie and give a lot to this movie. I mean, there are things that he does on an emotional level that I thought with him, I thought was just fantastic. This movie. Sally Hawkins has given great performances throughout her career. I mean, come on, it's Sally fucking Hawkins here, guys. Sally Hawkins could have easily just clocked into work and said, alright guys, I'm just here for the paycheck, I'm getting out of here now. Sally Hawkins has scenes in this movie that straight up scared me. There is a sequence in this movie where Sally Hawkins actually scared the hell out of me. Sally Hawkins' character is a character that is so sweet and is so heartwarming, but there are things that you notice about her throughout the film that definitely seem a bit off. The next thing that I gotta talk about that I absolutely loved about Bring Her Back was, as y'all can imagine, the Philippou brothers directing. Not only did I absolutely love what they did with their YouTube channel with RackaRacka, but I absolutely loved their debut film, Talk to Me, and I was really curious to see how they would go from essentially debuting their first film, showcasing their voice for the very first time, and then going into their sophomore film where clearly they want to challenge themselves into doing something a bit more, especially when it comes to character-driven stuff. Where Talk to Me was definitely a more entertaining film, although don't get me wrong when I say this too, guys. Not saying that Bring Her Back was not entertaining, because I was definitely most entertained by Bring Her Back, but here's the thing, guys. Talk to Me was definitely the more entertaining film that people I've heard described as essentially like a fun party trick, but a horrific party trick of a movie, absolutely yes. What the Philippou brothers do and Bring Her Back is showcase that not only they want to challenge themselves in going somewhere deeper with character-driven moments, but also showcasing a more atmosphere-driven film as well. Once a certain moment hits and Bring Her Back, this is a movie that sure, while it definitely has its fun moments absolutely throughout the film, this is a movie that is steeped, and I mean filled to the brim, with this atmosphere that slowly comes and comes and comes, and it reveals itself even more as the film goes along. There are images in this movie that I can guarantee to you guys are not gonna leave my head for quite some time. Something else that I gotta mention when it comes to Bring Her Back is how this movie deals with the horror genre. This is a movie that deals with the themes of grief and how people deal with grief, how they explore grief, and how people deal, because as y'all can imagine, and everybody knows this, people deal with grief in various ways. Some people are able to digest their grief in a more healthy manner, and some people deal with grief in a much more destructive manner. And all I'm gonna say is this, guys. There are sequences in this movie in which how this movie goes through the process of showing how these characters process their grief. I thought was generally not only, well, to say the least, very well done in how the Philippou brothers go in their lens, but not to mention as well on a horror level. There are sequences that I thought were generally, well, to say the least, again, were terrifying. Another thing that I gotta talk about is the body horror element, because oh my god, it takes me a lot to wince at a horror film. There is a scene in this movie, guys, where, no joke, I'm not even kidding with you all, I literally reacted like this. Oh! Oh! The practical effects in this sequence, once again to the Philippou brothers and the practical effects makeup team. Something else that I gotta talk about are the technical aspects, but in particular, the cinematography and the sound design. Aaron McCliskey's cinematography here, not only did I think that there were some really cool and very creative choices in terms of how this film was shot, how the cinematography showcases Piper's POV or just her perspective, I thought was generally very, very cool. There are shots of this movie in particular, I'm pretty sure you guys have seen the trailer, but guys, one of my favorite shots of the entire film is a shot that genuinely creeped me the fuck out. The sound design on this movie especially, oh my god.
Well, that's just fucking great!
When it comes down to my issues for Bring Her Back, the issue that I have, it's just more of a nitpick, but it's a nitpick that really doesn't take away anything that I felt about this movie. But the other thing I will say is that it's something that I think that an audience may feel about this movie. In terms of rewatch value, I do think that I'll find myself rewatching Talk to Me More only because this movie is so fucking bleak. I mean, it is bleak throughout this film, but I will rewatch this movie every now and again, but I don't think it will be as much as I rewatched Talk to Me. I feel like that there are some sequences or there are some story elements that I feel like that audiences might be a little frustrated that this movie doesn't quite explain in a way that I feel like the audience might be frustrated towards. Like, here's the thing, guys. After the screening had ended, I had talked to a good buddy of mine that said, I wish that they had gone further into this, and I did say that while I could see that, I'm glad that they didn't do that, because if they had done more of this, it would have taken away from the story that they were trying to tell. I'm personally glad that they didn't delve more time into those areas, but I can definitely see audiences being frustrated over some areas when it comes to down to information wise.
And here we go.
So overall, Bring Her Back is a character-driven, dread-filled movie that slowly builds with an atmosphere that grips you. And not only does it explore grief in a very haunting way, but the way that it does so, I know that it will stay with me for quite some time. The Philippou brothers, RackaRacka, have done it again. One of my favorite films of the year? Absolutely. All in all, I'm gonna give Bring Her Back a 5 out of 5. While I still prefer Talk to Me just slightly more, and I mean just slightly more, guys, Bring Her Back regardless is a fantastic, bleak film that had me wincing more than once. Go see this weekend, guys. It is such a terrific follow-up to Talk to Me. I hope you all enjoyed my review of Bring Her Back. If so, please hit the like button, or if you dislike this review, hit the dislike button. If you guys want to see any of my previous 2 videos, please click right there or right there. And of course, until my next review or video goes live, I will see you all next time.